Welcome to Beyond L&D, presented by NorthPass. I'm your host, Peter, and today I'm joined by Sarah Miller, the Senior Director of People and Culture at Havenly. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I'd like to start with an introduction of you and get a little bit more background about Havenly.
Sure. So my name's Sarah. I run the People and Culture team at Havenly. So Havenly is an online interior design services company. It's really, really fun. So you come to Havenly, you fill out a survey that identifies what your style is, and then you are able to choose a designer and then go through the design process with the designer, and they'll create a beautiful new room for you, and then you can purchase all of the items through Havenly. It's really fun. If you need any interior design help or if you move, let me know.
It is really fun. I've taken the quiz and it was awesome. Yeah. Could you give a little bit background about you too and kind of how you got into L&D?
Yeah, so I've been in kind of like the HR space for, like over 10 years now. I won't say how many over, age myself. But you know, it's become a much bigger part of kind of the overall HR function, I guess you would say. And you know, that really is because, you know, training equals success, and you want everyone who joins your team in whatever capacity that is to feel like they have the tools and the support needed to perform their jobs and do so in a really successful way.
Yeah, you said that training means success to you. Why is training so valuable to you at Havenly?
Yeah, I mean, we move really fast, and there's, you know, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things going on, and it's important that everyone has like the same base knowledge so that they can to build their foundation and deliver upon. And so training has really helped us do that. In particular, you know, using NorthPass and having like it as a content management system for us, so that we know that everyone who comes to us, so we use it specifically for our contract interior designers, so they all come to us, they all go through the same exact process, get the same exact content, and have the same chance of success on the Havenly platform. And it's worked out really well.
Yeah, so you train your contract interior designers, and I mean, that process had to start somewhere. How has that process evolved over the years?
Gosh, I always refer to it as like the good old days in Havenly. Like we've always been just a super scrappy team, and we just figure it out. And that's what I love most about Havenly. So when I joined, there were 2 really big online manuals that were in no real particular order, and that's because our processes kept changing and people didn't know where to put new content, so it just kind of kept going. You know, we would give that training manual to our contract interior designers when they would start, and we would say, okay, let us know when you're done and we'll get you going. And it worked. It worked great, and you know, it just wasn't super scalable, both from a quality perspective and also from the perspective of, you know, ensuring success with our designer base. So the manual worked, and I'm so glad it was there, but we're really happy to have evolved our training into something that is much more streamlined, much easier to go through, and much easier to update.
Yeah, I'm always really happy when we can save people from the 100, 200-page manuals.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. So, you know, our interior designers, they're professional interior designers. So we're not teaching them how to do interior design. We're training them on how to deliver the Havenly process. And for the most part, these designers aren't used to working in kind of the tech-savvy way that Havenly operates. So there's just like a lot of different things that they need to understand working within our platform. So being able to separate the content out in a way that's really easy for them to go through, and then also really easy for them to go back and access exactly what they need when they need it, has been really important. And again, like a system really helps you do that.
Yeah, and as you've scaled this training program and allowed your learners to do that, what business results have been there as a direct result from your training?
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to grow our base of interior designers much faster than we had anticipated, which in turn has enabled us to service more customers and create more delight. And, you know, that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, when you're able to train people faster and get them on board, you know, you can help more people, you can get more people onboarded faster. And as you grow, it's just so important for businesses to be able to scale like that.
Yeah, I mean, we the way that the company has grown and the way that our designer base has grown is just really cool to kind of look back at. And the fact that, I always say, like, I'm really proud of being able to offer entrepreneurial opportunities to interior designers to work remotely in a very flexible way, still doing what they love. And the fact that, we've got this great training platform that can take them from, 0 to 100 in the Havenly process in the span of, I would say, depending on how much time they want to invest, 1 to 5 days just makes me feel really good. And we're able to move them very, very quickly.
Yeah, and that's great to be able to put people through that fast. And as you step back and look at all the things you've been able to accomplish through your training, what advice would you give someone who's just starting out in the L&D field and looking for tips and resources?
Yeah, I think the first thing I would say is don't let perfect be the enemy of good. I used to get really caught up on like a training program and like a training process feels so big and heavy and scary. And you're like, well, it has to be perfect and it has to have all these things, and something is better than nothing, right? So like just figure out like how to put one foot in front of the other and do something. And then it'll keep growing. And regardless of what you make or create, it doesn't have to be there forever. In particular, when you have a system similar to NorthPass, you are able to make changes and edit as frequently as you need to. So just do it.
Right. And if you're looking for perfect, you're never going to launch. And you need to launch to be able to find at least what's close to perfect, because you need to be able to learn and iterate and measure.
Yeah, I can tell you whatever you put out is likely better than nothing, and probably better than what you're doing right now. So just do something.
Do something, exactly. So at this point with the program you've grown, what are you looking forward to the future, and what's kind of like the next steps as you've automated things you were doing in the past? What do you look forward to now that you have more time to focus on bigger picture items?
So in my role in particular, or in training?
In training in general, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that I'm excited about. I think now that we've got this great training kind of process in place for our interior designers, I'm excited to figure out how we take their performance to the next level and how we really measure that from a business perspective and also from their business perspective. So they're all professionals who are operating their own business on the Havenly platform, and I want them to be successful, and I want them to have more tools outside of training, whether it be for marketing or overall communicate, whatever it might be. Being able to work on that a bit more, being able to think more about the customer and what the customer experience is and how we make that great as designers is really exciting. And then, something else that I get really excited about that, from an internal perspective, I think in Havenly we've got a really good handle on is culture. And we know who we are in Havenly HQ and everyone internally, but let's think about that for our designer base and how do we build that culture as a remote distributed kind of contract workforce and make them really, evangelists of Havenly and really love working with us and continue to love working with us.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because you can teach them the processes, you can teach them the procedures, but at the end of the day, they're still working with you and your company, and you want them to encompass the brand that you've really built at Havenly, which is really important.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you can think about kind of the next step of your training like that.
Yeah, we're really trying to build like this really great community and culture and, make them super successful. So just more work there.
All right, well, that's all the time we have today, but thanks for stopping by and letting us know a little bit more about what you're doing at Havenly and how you're utilizing training, and just thanks for sharing your expertise.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was great being here.